Hello everyone, and welcome to the Basics of Classroom Management course. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lakia Barrett, also known as the Modern School Marm, and I will be your teacher throughout this course. Thank you for choosing my course to help you learn the basics of classroom management. The purpose of this course is to teach the basic skills and knowledge required to run a classroom in order to have a successful school year. Who will benefit from this course? New teachers. Teachers new to the profession with no background or training in education. First-year teachers. These are teachers who majored in education but feel their classroom management could use some work. Second-year teachers. These are teachers who did not have a successful first year due to poor classroom management. And finally, everyone. Anyone who genuinely wants to improve their classroom management skills and knowledge. Course objectives. By the end of this course, teachers will be able to 1. Explain the philosophy behind classroom management. 2. Identify their own teaching style and personality. 3. Create age-appropriate classroom rules, consequences, and procedures that work for both the teacher and students. 4. Apply a variety of techniques that can be used in order to manage a class. And 5. Design a classroom layout which is conducive to teaching and managing a classroom at any grade level. Here's a little bit of information about me. I have over 22 years of experience teaching middle school science with a little bit of math mixed in. I've taught every population from comprehensive, which is regular educated students, talented and gifted, special education of all types, various cultures and races, and ESOL students. Both my bachelor's and master's degrees are in elementary education. I also have an advanced professional teaching certificate. Let me take a moment to share my classroom management philosophy with you. The only person you can control is yourself. You can only manage other people. These words of wisdom were told to me by my team leader during my first year of teaching. They seemed to resonate with me the moment that he uttered them. From that very moment, I adopted this idea into my own philosophy, and I allowed these words to guide me on my journey to becoming a better classroom manager. Here's my backstory. First, let me start off by saying that I thought I was well trained by my professors in my undergraduate teaching program. I thought I had been armed with enough knowledge to teach my own group of students fairly well. I was great at lesson planning, setting up my classroom, and organization. When it came to classroom management, my professors had given us some pointers on how to manage students, mixed in with our other courses and training. However, a lot of it was geared towards elementary school students. I didn't worry about it because I thought I would only be teaching elementary school, even though I was certified grades 1 through 8. My professors only briefly mentioned how to manage middle school students. And when I say briefly, I mean they handed us a packet discussing middle school students and told us to read it on our own. Again, I thought nothing of it because I figured I would be given a job in an elementary school. Even though I successfully completed my student teaching and performed well, I never felt comfortable managing students on my own. I just thought it was my personal issue and not any fault of theirs because I was shy, introverted, and insecure at the time. My first year of teaching was rough, and I struggled to manage my students. Unfortunately, I learned the hard way that my education in classroom management had fallen a little bit short. Instead of being hired in an elementary school, I was actually hired to teach 8th grade science in a middle school setting. So, as you can imagine, I was in for a rude awakening on a lot of levels. My first year of teaching was no cakewalk. I struggled like many new teachers. To say it was tough would be putting it mildly. I was placed on a team that didn't have the best reputation and was filled with students with a host of issues. When I realized I would be teaching middle school and not elementary, I immediately pulled out the middle school packet that my professor had given me the year before, but it really didn't help at all. During the first year, I was unable to get my students to listen during lessons. They were always off task. They were rude and would talk back. I spent many evenings crying and being depressed because I couldn't control my classes and wasn't able to teach. I wanted to quit each and every day. My first year of teaching may have been trying, but I did learn a few things along the way. I also learned from my mistakes. I was also given some sound advice from more experienced teachers and administrators. Finally, my principal sent me to a classroom management course during fourth quarter. This course saved my life and my sanity. It provided the information that I needed to properly manage a classroom. Since the year was almost over, I couldn't use this information until I started my second year of teaching. But boy, did it make a difference. So what did I learn? First, I learned to find my voice. One of the advisors from the county science office who came to observe me gave me that piece of advice. She recognized that I had a quiet demeanor similar to her own. She told me that I needed to learn how to take charge and be firm in my decisions in my own way. It didn't require yelling or being confrontational, but my students needed to see that I meant business and would follow through if they refused to follow the rules. Second, I learned how to use my strengths to my advantage. Being well planned and organized is also part of a good classroom management plan. Therefore, I could make those strengths work for me. Third, I learned that you have to have a plan in place and ready to go from day one. Otherwise, you are destined to struggle the entire year. Fourth, I learned to be consistent. Follow through on all rules, procedures, and consequences. And finally, I learned that everyone has a different personality, teaching style, and management style. What works for one teacher may not work for you. Base your classroom management plan on your personality, teaching style, subject area, and personal philosophy. I created this course to help new and inexperienced teachers to feel confident managing their students. Knowledge is power. If you know the basics, you can conquer almost anything. I want new teachers to walk into a classroom armed with knowledge and ready to manage a room full of children. Again, I want to say welcome and thanks for taking this course. Let's get started with Module 1 on the basics.